I'm Jason Epperson. This is RV Miles, and it's time for the latest in RV and camping news. Welcome back, everybody. First up, I want to let you know that I'm recording this video earlier than I normally do. So, news is moving very fast right now. If something happens to come up before I put this video out, I'm sorry that it got missed or that the information was wrong. First up, last week we reported that Yosemite National Park had delayed implementation of its timed entry reservation system that was to go permanent this year after a several-year trial period. The delay was announced because the park isn't certain whether the higher-ups in the new Trump administration will want it to go forward. Well, now Yosemite has paused campsite reservations, and they aren't giving a reason why, but it surely has something to do with the uncertainty over staffing issues due to the Trump administration's extraordinary effort to reduce the size of the federal workforce. The delay affects the reservations at Upper Pines, Lower Pines, North Pines, Wawona, and Ogden Meadow campgrounds from June 15th to July 14th. The park announced Friday on social media. Site reservations are normally released online on the 15th of every month, 5 months in advance, and summertime dates usually sell out nearly instantly. The announcement comes as the National Park Service faces a loss of a large percentage of its workforce. First, from a hiring freeze that saw the Park Service rescinding thousands of seasonal offers, and then from the resignation offer that gave employees 7 months' pay if they resigned. An unknown number of Park Service employees took that deferred resignation offer, but there have been some who have said that it may be as many as 10%. The National Park Service has around 20,000 employees and has some of the lowest morale among federal employees, according to federal employee surveys. That offer has faced some legal hurdles, but a day after its deadline passed, the Park Service then fired over 1,000 employees who had not taken the offer and were on probational status, meaning they had been on the job for a short enough period of time that they lacked job protection that permanent employees who are off probation have. The Department of the Interior has decided that it will exempt 5,000 seasonal positions under the current hiring freeze after a lot of back and forth over whether that would happen, and after the hiring freeze rescinded over 2,000 seasonal and permanent job offers back in January. The National Park Service is under the Department of the Interior, along with several other land agencies that will share those seasonal workers, like the Bureau of Land Management, who also lost 800 employees in this recent round of firings. The U.S. Forest Service, which is the biggest land agency that is not under the Department of the Interior, it's actually under the Department of Agriculture, had already decided last fall to cut seasonal workers due to budget woes, and certainly saw its share of people taking the deferred resignation offer. They fired about 3,400 probational workers, or nearly 10% of the Forest Service workforce of 35,000 employees in this recent firing. A source familiar with the cuts told USA Today that the layoffs do not include firefighters, law enforcement officers, bridge inspectors, or meteorologists. One of the biggest challenges facing these agencies are that these cuts are sort of unilateral. Nobody is telling them, cut 20% of your workforce and then letting them decide which jobs are important to keep and which are not. It's just, these are the jobs that we're able to cut, so we're cutting them. So you're going to see lots of temporary issues like what's happening at Yosemite over the next few months as these land agencies work to find people to take over the duties of those who are leaving within the current workforce. At Zion National Park, for instance, non-park employees were paid for search and rescue operations in the past. The park has notified those people that search and rescue operations will now be volunteer only. This would be people like nearby law enforcement or firefighters who would come in and work these search and rescue operations and get paid for them. More in a moment, but first, this episode is sponsored by the folks over at RVmattress.com by Brooklyn Bedding, where you can get a real mattress for your RV made by a real mattress company in all the different odd sizes that RV manufacturers put into these things. The camper kings, the short kings and queens, all the different odd bunk sizes, and all the different weird thicknesses that you might need for a Murphy bed or for closing a slide over the top of it, and more. RVmattress.com provides toxin-free mattresses that are vacuum sealed and rolled up in a box and sent to you wherever you are from their factory in Arizona, even at a campground if you want. We've got them in both of our RVs and in our new RV that's coming soon, and our house as well, because they are real mattresses from a real mattress company. They even have a 120-night sleep trial. You get 30% off. It's the best deal they offer for being an RV Miles viewer. You just have to go to rvmattress.com/RVMiles and use the code RVMiles at checkout. An update on that motorhome availability issue that stems from the California Air Resources Board, or CARB's, aggressive move to phase out most diesel trucks over a period of about a dozen years. It's not over, contrary to some things I've been seeing out there. CARB's Advanced Clean Truck Rule has been adopted by 10 other states: Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Washington, Vermont, Colorado, Maryland, New Mexico, and Rhode Island. So far, legislation has been introduced in Massachusetts, New Jersey, and Oregon to delay the implementation of the Advanced Clean Truck Rule until at least January 1st, 2027. State legislators in New York are also looking to introduce similar legislation. There's been some movement from RV chassis manufacturers that are participating now in that credit swap program, and motorhome chassis are available currently in the CARB states that have already adopted the legislation. Newmar sent a letter out stating that chassis manufacturers Spartan and Freightliner and Ford have all been able to keep a limited number of chassis available for Newmar to upfit. Igloo is recalling more than 1 million 90-quart rolling coolers due to possible fingertip amputation and crushing hazards. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, the tow handle on the Igloo 90-quart flip and tow rolling coolers can pinch consumers' fingertips against the cooler. There have been 12 reports of fingertip injuries, including fingertip amputations, bone fractures, and lacerations. The recall is for Igloo 90-quart flip and tow rolling coolers manufactured prior to January 2024. The date of manufacture is imprinted on the bottom of the cooler in a circular pattern with an arrow pointing to the month of manufacture and the last 2 digits of the year of manufacture inside the circle. The coolers were sold in multiple body and lid color combinations. Igloo will replace the handle for free. RV Help, a new platform for searching for RV technicians and inspectors, has acquired and integrated the tech and inspector locators from the National RV Inspectors Association, and RVIA, and the RVTAA, which is the RV Technician Association of America. They've transitioned those databases of certified techs and inspectors to rvhelp.com, which is now the one central clearinghouse for finding RV mobile inspectors and technicians. While the platform's core feature focuses on connecting RVers with inspectors and techs, RV Help has a broader vision to become the go-to resource for RV ownership. The company plans to expand its services in the coming months to include exclusive membership programs, priority booking for members, DIY learning resources, and access to travel perks. Hey, if you like what we do here, consider becoming a mile marker. It's our paid support community. It's $7 a month, $70 a year, and you get additional podcasts from Abby and I. I do a newsletter each week that's a lot of news stories that I find around the internet that aren't just the ones I include here, and a whole lot more. It's just a fun way that you can come and support what we do. Otherwise, hit the like button if you got something out of this video. Subscribe if you want more like it, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.